AARA U.S. National Singles Racquetball Championships, brought to you by Penn. And we're celebrating our 10th anniversary of play here at the Houston YMCA, and we are in Houston, Texas. We've got Chris Cole, the number 4 seed, and major upset, defeating Timmy Sweeney, who's just been on a roll, male athlete of the year. And Chris, in a marathon 2-hour 25-minute match, takes him out yesterday. Now, is he going to be too tired to play today?
Well, Chris is in great physical shape, and I don't think he's going to be tired at all. It was only one match, and usually they're used to playing 2 and 3 matches, so I don't think you have to worry about that.
Well, you had a chance to talk with Chris Cole. What a major victory that was. Let's hear that interview.
Chris Cole, you've had a great tournament, but you've had some real tough matches coming into today. What's been your key in this tournament so far?
Basically staying mentally tough. Each person that I've played the last 3 rounds has been ahead of me in the tiebreaker, and basically I just tried to bear down and go point by point, and by doing so I was able to eke out 3 tough wins.
Well, you just played John Ellis at the Tournament of Americas. The game actually could have went either way. It was 11-9 tiebreaker. Are you going to change anything today, or what's your game plan?
Basically, I'm going to stay the same, use things that have helped me in the past against John, but I've got a couple little surprises that I've worked up that he's not going to be ready for, and hopefully I'll be able to come out on top.
Well, John hits the ball harder than anybody. You got to get to that serve. Can you do it?
I got to it in Honduras, and the floor was dark brown wood, so I wasn't able to see it real well, so that bodes well for me here. If he starts hitting that serve too hard, though, I'm going to have to do something to slow him down and be able to reach it.
Well, congratulations, and I'm glad that you're in the finals finally.
Thank you.
Well, it's a couple of fine young men in Chris Cole and Johnny Ellis, his opponent, but they've played each other a lot. What surprise could Chris Cole have?
Well, Chris Cole is going to slow the game down. Chris Cole is very mentally tough, real strong when it comes to making no errors, dictating the pace of the game. And I think Chris will try to dictate the pace of the game.
Well, it's an opportunity for us to see one of the young phenoms in America. And, of course, I'm talking about Johnny Ellis. And this kid on the U.S. National Juniors team going to Southwest Missouri State. You had a chance to talk with him. Let's hear his thoughts on today's championship game.
John Ellis, what a tremendous year you've had. You've won the Junior Nationals, you've won the Collegiates, you've gone to Honduras, your team won the Tournament of the Americas. You're winning everything in sight. You're in the finals here. What's contributed to your victories this year?
Well, Jim, I'm extremely confident in tournament play right now. I'm getting a lot older and I'm getting stronger, and it's basically just coming together for me right now in tournaments.
Well, here you are here with Chris Cole. You just played Chris about a month ago, Tournament of the Americas. It was a close match. It could have went either way. Are you going to change your game plan, or what kind of game plan are you going to have?
No, I'm not going to change my game plan. My game plan's the same every time, just to go with my power and just try to control from the start. With Chris, he's going to slow it down. That's his game. And I know I'm going to be in for a long match anytime I play Chris, so it's going to be the same deal.
For a little guy, you generate so much power. You hit the ball harder than anybody I see playing racquetball. How do you do it?
I throw my whole body into it, basically. I throw my arm into it, I throw my legs into it, my midsection, and I just let myself go, basically, when I'm playing. That's it.
I guess at your old age of 19, you can do that.
Yeah.
Good luck today, John.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
You know what amazes me, Jim Heiser, about these two guys? They're both small. And they're both probably as powerful as anybody that's ever played this game. Where do they get the power from?
Well, like you said, John Ellis is one of the smallest racquetball players, but without a question, the most powerful racquetball player in racquetball today. His hip rotation, you watch him when he hits the ball, everything goes into that ball. His hips rotate almost 360 degrees.
He sprained his ankle yesterday in the semis against Doug Gannon. You think it's bothering him at all today?
I don't think he'll even feel it today. John Ellis is such a competitor, I think he's ready to go.
Well, I'm excited about this one because we've got two of the young, great, well, they're the future of racquetball, if you will. Chris Cole, who upset the number 1 seed in Tim Sweeney, and what a great game that was. And young Johnny Ellis, a freshman in college, high school player of the year in the past. It's going to be fantastic. We want you to stay with us. We're here at the Houston YMCA in downtown Houston, Texas. We'll be right back with you with the Men's Open National Championship Racquetball game. Let's pick up action in Game 2 of the Men's Open Championships of the U.S. Singles here at the downtown YMCA from Houston, Texas. Johnny Ellis with the serve. 6-6 is the score. And Jimmy, just take a look at the stats.
Well, once again, Chris Cole's first serve percentage has decreased now. It's down to 33%. If he starts getting that around 50, for him that's good, around 50%.
5 aces to none in favor of Ellis.
Good call by John Ellis on himself.
Second time today he's made one of those gentleman-like calls on himself. No question about it.
It's so great to see these two youngsters, or these two kids on the U.S. team. We call them youngsters, 19 and 25.
They are.
But they have such a tremendous attitude, and it's going to be such a plus for us in international competition.
You know, I was commenting there in it seems like when Chris started to slow the game down and try to put Ellis to sleep, he quieted the crowd, same as he did yesterday in the semis. Got an appeal on a skip call.
Let's take a look at it on replay. Backhand shot. That must not have been a skip. Backhand shot by Chris down the left side. We can't tell. I really can't tell on replay whether that's skipped or not.
Score is 7, serving 6.
And for the first time today, Chris Cole has the lead. First time today, 7-6.
That was the first good serve he's had. See what's happened here? Chris lulled the game, or slowed the game down. Nice pass by John, just a little bit off the back wall.
Score is 8, serving 6.
Chris just put it away. And I think Chris's game plan of making John move as much as he can, wide angle passes, is beginning to pay off a little bit, and that John's shots are being left up.
I want to remind everybody once again that Pink is supplying the ball.
Great rally right there by both players. Chris moves up, and actually Chris had the whole right side, but sometimes that ball is coming so fast at you, you just got to take whatever the shot is given to you, and that was a cross-court pass.
Serving 8.
Chris taking his 10 seconds to slow John down a little bit.
Crunch time. Johnny helped Otto make a call. All right, the call on the part of Otto Dietrich is that Chris Cole picked that ball up on a double bounce, but if you'll watch Johnny Ellis throw his arm up, there it is right there, he may have helped Otto with that call. Well, they both, lines judges both disagree with Otto. They're both in clear review of it.
That replay showed something, though. It was difficult to see, but it looked like the ball might have bounced off of Chris's racket into the ground. After he did get it, but didn't look like it might have skipped. Lynn Adams shaking her head and said, no way, she was right there, and it did not skip.
Second serve.
Nice kick by John. Right down the right wall. Smart shot by Chris.
Jim, when you want to slow down your opponent, you have 10 seconds. Go ahead and make your comments here, and I'll get back to my point.
Well, Chris just started to use the alleys here. He's been pitching,
Nice
moving
pass.
Johnny up, and now he's starting to use the alleys again.
My question is, Cole gets ready to serve, and he has the lead 8-6. Is when you can hold him up as the receiver, you can hold him up for 10 seconds. Can you do it twice? Can you do it on the first serve and the second serve?
Yes, you can do it in each serve.
Okay.
After the referee calls the score, you have 10 seconds.
That's magnificent shot by Johnny Ellis. I mean, literally running into the wall, splatting, and it does 3 walls. Watch
And that,
this.
you watch, he's on the far left side of the court. Chris passes to the right. John runs all the way across the court. And great splash shot.
Score is 6, serving 8.
6 serving 8's the score. Johnny Ellis has already won the first game. We've already complimented, congratulated Dave Peck on winning both the men's 30s and 35s, but A compliment also from Ohio, Dave Cavanda, who didn't have both his age groups, but he was there in the finals for the men's 35s and the 40s. So congratulations to Dave Cavanda, one of the many, many very successful participants of this week's national singles here in Houston.
Well, that serve just stuck on the side wall, and Chris mishit it. Get and shot. Not only the get, but the shot.
Yeah. Certainly the confidence is building, there's no question.
Chris barely got to a pinch to John. Hit a good shot. Chris,
look at that.
Full out dive, roll out flat.
Boy, you got to appreciate that. Isn't that something? You know, while we have 1 second here while they're drying off the floor, I heard one of the great quotes. Of all time this week from the old pro, Dave Peck. He said, "I will never lose to a guy who wears a ponytail." I asked him about it yesterday. We need to take a short pause with the action. It's 8-7 is the score, and we'll take this break. We're in Houston at the National Singles at the downtown YMCA.
Okay, let's play ball. Chris,
I'll tell you one thing about Dave Peck's statement. You got to be real careful when you're saying you're going to play a guy. You're never going to get beat by a guy with politics. There's an awful lot of good players out in this world. That's a broad statement.
Dave Peck is a master of strategy and also a master of psyching.
He's done a great job with that one. His court demeanor has been an awful lot better than it used to be, because he would terrorize not only the rule book and the referees, but both line judges as well. He puts everybody to the test.
Well, John put a little extra heat on that cross-court pass. Chris could not get to it.
I really think Johnny Ellis is frustrated. Just watching his in the breaks and coming back to receive the ball, his facial expression. It's working. What Cole told us last night and in our pre-game interview, that he's going to slow it down because he knows that it bothers Johnny. The slowdown game.
7, serving 8.
Well, like I said, John has a lot of experience that he's gained this year from his international competition. And I think even though it bothers him, he's still in a good position to win this match.
Oh, I should say it's 7-8. Absolutely.
Second serve.
His first serve percentage has begun to decrease, I believe, though. He's 2 or 3 short serves. That's a definitely advantage for Chris.
There's the first outburst of emotion on the court. Johnny yelling at himself.
Well, Chris has got the pace of the game right where he wants it. Now, if he can hit a couple of cracks, he needs to get that ball bouncing into Johnny Ellis's body.
That's a good serve.
There's an ace serve.
That's what I was speaking about, that crack serve. If he can get that working, John's going to get real frustrated.
Serving 7.
9 serving 7. If Cole can continue on, it'll throw it into the tiebreaker.
That was a big skip, too, because you want to keep John out of the service box. He can run 4 or 5 quick points before you even know it with that serve.
Oh, cracked out. No chance for a return there.
Scores 9.
That's a pretty good serve, but Chris got a good swing at it, hit it cross court, and it did perfect crack.
No chance. Absolutely no chance.
Well, here we see if he goes back to the crack, which I'm sure he will. Even though he misses a lot of these, it's very difficult to return it because the ball bounces right into your body.
Short serve, and Chris Cole has a 2-point lead in the second game. It's 9 serving 7. And I think his confidence has been building this entire game, as a matter of fact.
It looks like he's going to hit that high lob off the side wall.
I think that's one of the most difficult shots in all of racquetball. The high lob that just drops the ball straight down the back wall, and he's still able to pull it for a rollout.
That came off a little bit far, but it's still so difficult because You only got about a 6-foot span to hit that ball down that left side because the server's standing right in front of you.
With Jim Heiser and Lynn Adams, I'm Jim Turner here in Houston at the downtown YMCA. John Ellis with the serve. He's behind. So the score is 8, serving 9. Ellis had already won the first game.
Another great serve by John. Chris is just retrieving this rally. That's all he's doing. Well, comes off of John's serve. When John gets that first serve in, a high percentage of first serves in, John usually wins the rally.
Yeah, but comment on the last kill shot, because watch John crank up for the kill. Watch.
Great rotation. You see that racket comes all the way around. All the way around.
9-9. John Ellis takes the lead at 10-9. Take another one. Look at this, Jimmy.
Well, there's no way Chris, he tried to dive for it and hit it off the back wall because he couldn't get it to hit it off the front wall. John had 6 aces in this second game. Chris only has 1 ace. John's serving very, very well right now. What Chris has to do is just try to get it to the ceiling. That's all he can do.
Retaking the lead. It's 10 serving 9. Side out with Chris Cole having the serve.
This time John left the serve up a little bit. It came off the back wall. Chris went cross court and John just couldn't get to it. Now we'll see if Chris Cole can go back and hit his crack that he was hitting so effectively a few points ago.
Well, good call on the money. Crack ace serve.
John just smiles.
Take the tap.
John knows Chris is game backwards and forwards, and he knows Chris is going to go for the crack. He knows it, but what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
He can't do anything about it.
Score is tied, 10-10. Of course, you'll probably go the same one to the opposite side, the left wall on this one.
Hold the shot. Okay. I didn't think that was avoidable. No, it's not avoidable. Right. Good call. I was going to rip it, but it's a safety hold up.
One of the things on that serve that Otto explained to the players before the game is Chris goes for the crack serve a lot. When Chris hits that crack, it's a point, but if it bounces out and Chris can't get out of the way, then that's an avoidable hinder because he's taking John's shot away. And that time, Otto did not believe that the complete shot was taken away, so he didn't call an avoidable hinder. But Chris knows it too. Chris knows that he has to get out of the way when he goes for that crack.
Well, how much of the court you talking about? 1 line, 2 line? What do you have to give your opponent so that
you have to give him the straight shot, and you have to give him an angle for a cross court pass.
One more, Chris.
And that's a discretion of the referee. If he did give him enough angle for that cross court.
That's a pass shot. I don't think there's any question in that. Nice hand for the effort of Johnny Ellis, but I don't think there's any question that the point will be awarded. So let's take a look at it, Jim.
Well, Chris is he's staying with his game plan, which is cross-court passing. There he went all the way back down the same line. John thinks he might have been hindered on that call, but it didn't look like he was.
You've got 2 left. Score is 12.
2-point lead for Chris Cole, who really does want to throw this into a tiebreaker, as he did with Tim Sweeney, and able to defeat the #1 seed and the athlete of the year. It's 12-10.
You see what's happened. Chris has got his last first serves in the last 3 times. The last 3 times he's got the point.
Johnny's also, as we're going to notice right here, leaving the ball up for a kill shot, just as he did right there.
Well, that was an excellent call by Otto Dietrich, too, because normally a lot of referees might call that a hinder. But at this level of play, you got to wait. You got to see if they're going to be able to hit the shot.
(13-10) is the score. Second serve.
Second serve.
You'll probably go to that high lob serve off the side wall, trying to force John to shoot from 39 feet again.
There's certainly some anxiety and anticipation in the crowd as Chris Cole has the serve and an opportunity to win game 2 and throw it into the tiebreaker. The score 14-10. And that's an ace serve, and he does exactly that. No question about it.
Good. Didn't appeal. I called it good.
Well, there's no question about that. We are going to the tiebreaker, folks, which means we will go to 11 points in the next game.
Well, Chris, his best serve is the crack serve, and he went for the crack serve, and he hit it.
Well, that was fantastic. As you said in the first game, when he was so far behind, this match isn't over. So a nice comeback and some excellent play there on the part of Chris Cole in this second match. So we will be back in just a moment with the tiebreaker here to find out who's going to be the Open champ. Welcome back to Houston, everybody. I'm Jim Turner along with Jim Heiser. Our referee is Otto Dietrich. Our lines judges are Rich Clay and Mike Arnold. And Jim Heiser, we're in the tiebreaker. And by the fact that Johnny Ellis scored more points in those two games, he has the first serve of the third game. And we will only go to 11 points. And by the way, in racquetball by rules in the 11th point, you do not have to win by 2 points in a tiebreaker in the amateur level.
The interesting stat here is Chris Cole increased his first serve percentage to 60%. And after 60%, that's really good for Chris. Usually it's around 50. And also in the second game, Chris had 6 pass shot winners. That means Chris' game plan is working.
Yes, but interesting there in the combined first and second game with Johnny Ellis having broke a string in his racket. I'd like to make this comment. 34 kill shots for Ellis combined in those two games.
Well, that's John's game. He had to use the timeout. He had to use a timeout because he broke his string and he had to leave the court to get a new racket. So
tiebreaker goes to 11. You can win by 1 point. The misconception a lot is that you have to win by 2. Of course, in any game here in racquetball, you score with the service only, and you only get 2 timeouts in the tiebreaker, but you do retain the ability to have 3 appeals in the tiebreaker. I think Chris Cole wanted a full timeout with Ellis breaking that string and changing rackets.
I really don't know if Otto charged him with a timeout or not.
No, he did not. He just said resume play. I wanted to ask you the psychological change when you get into a short game, which is the tiebreaker to 11. How much pressure does it put on you, and do you change your game plan?
You shouldn't change your game plan if you're winning with it. Chris Cole's winning with his game plan. He should definitely not change it. For John, he wants to speed things up a little bit. He wants to get his first serve in. He wants to increase that first serve percentage. That's John's game. He's not doing it right now.
So John's going to try to stay with his quick power game. Chris Cole's going to try to stay with what got him to the tiebreaker, slow it down.
Sure is.
And maximize the shot when it's up. And Johnny really has been giving him some good shots.
Well, between games, I was listening to Chris Cole talk with Jimmy Floyd, and the game plan for Chris Cole is to wide angle pass and then go down the lines, and there you can see he right down the line, perfect pass.
A little worry there. Johnny landing on his right elbow. Of course, in between games, he's putting some heat balm on that arm. As we've mentioned before, he hits it harder and faster than anybody in the game today, and he certainly feels it, I believe, after each match.
Short serve, second serve.
Still no score, 0-0.
Sometimes psychologically, this first point is very, very important in the tiebreaker to get you off to a good start. And we'll see what happens. This is high lob serve. We'll see if John shoots or goes back up.
Ooh. Skip ball. Good point you make on the first score, but yesterday in the semis against Tim Sweeney, Sweeney had him in the tiebreaker 3-0, and just an outstanding comeback for Cole to win that game.
Yeah, Chris went up to 10-3, and then it was 10-7, and then Chris finally put it away.
It's one of the better matches I've ever seen.
He just overhit that ball. Johnny overhit his forehand and left Chris a pretty easy shot. Chris just didn't make it.
Score 0, serving 0.
See, just overhit it, hit it off the back wall. Chris had him trapped.
See, he should put this one away right here.
He sure should have.
Easy for me to sit here and say he should put
Really good shot by Johnny.
There's our first point. So Johnny gets on the board first, 1, serving 0.
Score is 1, serving 0.
Pinch in the corner. Side out, Cole with the serve. I wanted to ask you while we've got one moment here, Jim, what is your goal when you take the juniors over to another country? Are you the ambassadors of racquetball, teaching a new sport, trying to build up world competition?
For the juniors, what we're trying to do is we're trying to take them over and help instruct players from foreign countries to show them the proper beginning mechanics. A lot of these players are just beginning over there, and if you can show them the proper way to play right off the bat, then they're going to be able to be a force in international competition within 2 years.
Well, what a fantastic opportunity, though, for some of the youth of our America to utilize racquetball and to take them over to Europe and overseas and elsewhere.
This is the first international trip for our junior team, and they're very, very excited about it.
What's the date of the Worlds in Montreal? In June?
13th through the 20th of August, I believe.
August, okay, I missed it by a month or two. Going to be fantastic. Wheelchair events are going to be there as well. Chip Parmalee winning here. Participants will be representing the United States, and I want to give them credit. The wheelchair event that I had never seen before, wheelchair racquetball, and I was just astounded. First place in the world for here, Chip Parmalee. Second was Gary Baker, and third was Les Gorsley, and they are going to represent the United States. They told me a little while ago that they were really looking forward to going up there.
It's always an interesting competition with Canada competing against the United States in wheelchair racquetball. That's a real rivalry.
He hadn't even finished his shot yet. No chance to move out of that position. It's not avoidable. You were hitting it up high anyway. It wasn't an offensive shot.
Okay, Chris Cole had a forehand shot. John thinks he had an avoidable. I don't know. That's a judgment call by. I don't think I would have called it avoidable, but that's a judgment call by Otto. He didn't think that John really had enough opportunity to hit an offensive shot. It looks like John overran it a little bit. Looks like where John ran in front, and it looks like he overran it a little bit. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, you really can't in a tiebreaker have too many calls, though. It's just too short of a game, too close.
One thing what you want in a referee is you want the referee to be consistent in his calls, and Otto's been very consistent. He's called the same thing against both players. Ooh. That's Chris' shot. He has to go for it. That's his shot. He's usually pretty consistent with that.
Tiebreaker score is 1, serving 2.
Now we'll see if John can go back and get some of his first serves in. When he gets that first serve in, he usually gets a weak return.
It's the tiebreaker. It only goes to 11. Johnny Ellis with the serve. Serving 2. Just beautiful. Fans here really appreciate that.
Chris missed it, came right back to the middle. John hit it between his legs. He was kind of jammed on that. And then,
2, serving 2.
Did he rotate on that shot, or did he rotate?
Unbelievable. Tied up at 2. there for that power serve and the attempt to get it back without setting us up.
So I hit Chris had a really smart shot right there off the back wall. What camera work too?
Just outstanding. Very, very appreciate it. I love that. Got the handheld cameras in the back on left and right and up on the side. Take another look at this.
There's
got to
Chris,
really appreciate
cross-court pass, and watch John, full dive, just couldn't get it off the back wall.
Isn't that neat? Warney athleticism, even though it failed. 2-2 in the tiebreaker. Chris Cole with the score. We only go to 11. We're at the Echelon AARA Nationals. The singles titles are on the line here. We may have us a new champ. We'll be right back. We're in the tiebreaker with Chris Cole to serve. The score is 2-2. Johnny Ellis winning the first game 15-8. Chris Cole the second game 15-10. And again, it's 2-2. Let's resume action.
Well, Chris will go back to the crack to see if he can get a couple good points. And he hits it right out of the back.
There's the one he won the second game on. And again, Johnny Ellis is going to appeal that.
The call stands.
Yeah, it does. Jim, take a look yourself.
It's so hard for me to see that here because of the pole on the back of the court. I couldn't tell. But both line judges agreed that it was a good serve. So in all probability it was.
Score is 3, serving 2.
3-2 is the score.
He's going to continue to try to hit that. He's been pretty consistent since about 10 in the second game.
That would have been interesting because Ellis was leaning to the left on that one. Short serve, second serve.
Here goes the high lob. Try to force John to make an error and shoot it from deep court so that he gets some kind of an easy shot from center court.
There it is, that deep backhand right off the glass wall.
That was just a great shot. That's 39.9 feet.
John Ellis serving the
That
tiebreaker.
camera just sitting right, didn't it, neat? Wow.
See if John can get his first serve in.
I thought they would have been angry right there, and they won. He goes ahead and takes it. Ellis brings it dead back at him.
Well, see,
I thought for sure we'd have had a hinder.
well, as I explained earlier, Ottawa is letting them play. And what you do at this level, you let them
Score
play.
is 3, serving 2.
You can't take shots away. You can't call it so quick. You got to wait a little bit. No, I think Otto's doing a real good job of letting them play.
Would you agree with me, even though we've talked about how solid and experienced the youth are? I'm starting to question a little bit what's going to work and won't work.
He is, I think, but if he can get his serve in, he'll get a little confidence back right away. And right now, anybody can win this game. I think the momentum is right about even though Chris Cole has hit a few cracks and he's got his serve back. I think that either one of these guys could just take off and get a few points.
I just sit in appreciation of their ability and the power and speed that they hit it with. Side out.
Well, you get a, it's a good serve. Chris went down the left side. Cross-court pass. He gets it. He goes back to the other side for a cross-court pass. John just missed the pinch shot.
Cole with the serve. It's 3, serving 2 in the tiebreaker.
What's remarkable to me is these guys have played for 5 days. They've played numerous matches, and they're still covering the court like cats.
And Cole's with tiebreaker.
You've got 2 left. Take this one, you've got 1.
You can take 2 timeouts during the tiebreaker.
He went right down the left side. Chris tried to go back down the left side, and Johnny just rolls it out.
And Johnny Ellis has decided to take a timeout. We're in the tiebreaker. As you can see, the scores, how they went the first 2 games. Chris Cole leading in the third, 3-2. A reminder, the game only goes to 11, so an awful lot of action yet to come. Stay with us. Everybody, I'm Jim Turner along with Jim Heiser and Lynn Adams. And Jim, let's go down to the former world pro champion and many-time #1 seeded female player and Lynn Adams. Lynn, what do you think of the match so far?
Well, Chris has definitely taken over the whole pace of the match. And John is having to play at his speed instead of Chris playing at John's speed. That's made a huge difference in how this match has gone.
Lynn, John gets his first serve. He seems to be able, except for that, as soon as I say that, he gets a first serve in and Chris rolls it out. But normally, it seems like when he gets his first serve in, he kind of is able to get some points off of him anyways.
Well, I think what John has stopped doing is he has no variety in his serves, and Chris has really honed in on that drive serve to the backhand. I think if John wants to be effective, he needs to mix up his serves so that the power can really come into play.
It really is amazing how this game has gone, because it's just about the exact duplicate of what it was yesterday against Tim Sweeney. Slowing the game down, losing the game, and hanging in there on the tiebreaker to get to the championships. Cole, the 4th seed, unknown by an awful lot of people that aren't into the real rudiments of racquetball, but he is an extremely smart racquetball player.
It all comes down to the great coaching that you have when you grow up.
Coach, I'm not going to fight on that. But okay, congratulations to you. But you're supposed to be neutral here since you got the mic on.
Well, I just looked at Lynn Adams down there, and she's sitting next to John Ellis's coach here, Samir Herdid, and I think he might have picked up on something that she said there. So I might have to get involved a little more in this tiebreaker.
Lynn, we talked a little bit about the level that the ladies champ, Michelle Gilman, has taken. What do you think when you see just turned 19 phenom Johnny Ellis and his strength and power?
Well, I tell you, it's exciting to see the players coming into the sport so young. But also, he's going to have to learn how to deal with the pressure the longer he plays at the adult level. He has no pressure on him right now. He's coming out of the juniors where he was supposed to win, felt tremendous pressure, and now he just gets to play and rip and have a great time because he's the underdog.
A real good look on that replay there, where a lot of people were hoping that Otto might have called a hinder because of the dive behind Johnny Ellis.
That wasn't a hinder. That was a good call. Chris couldn't have got to that ball.
3-3 is the score. Johnny Ellis has the serve. Jim Turner and Jim Heiser and Lynn Adams.
Well, John did what Lynn said in the last serve. He went to cross-court hand rather than just that straight drive. John had the shot, went to Chris's forehand. Chris just rolled it flat out.
Pretty forehand.
Chris told me a story earlier that I absolutely loved. Last year at the elite training camp, he told everyone that his short-term goal was to win the national championships this year. And he's just right on schedule. He's right on the verge of possibly making that goal come true.
And he really has had to battle his way to get here, and fighting off some of the great rackets that always attend the nationals. Oh, hit himself with the ball.
Ooh, that was...
It's the front wall, brings it right back at himself automatically. That's a point for the server, Chris Cole.
There you can see he moves over, he has an easy setup, and he hit the ball right back at him. Lynn, do you think some of Chris's strategy, where he's been going a lot of pass shots, moving John back in the court, up in the court with the pinches, you think his legs are beginning to tire?
I would say so. Plus, he is so focused on just killing the ball. Chris just stays up front and covers all those pinches. So unless John kills it flat, Chris is on the ball.
That was a great shot by John, because he did kind of get jammed when that ball hit the crack, and he just rolled it flat out. The reflexes of John Ellis is unbelievable, how fast he can get to the ball.
3 serving 4.
Wouldn't it be great to be 19 years old again? Can you guys remember 19?
Yes, thank you. Only about 4 years ago. Thank you very much.
Short serve.
Appreciated your work today, Lynn.
Don't cut my mic off.
Well, John is changing his serves. I'm not sure if he got some coaching or not, but it is working.
Oh, what an outstanding backhand he has.
You're rolling him now, Johnny. Let's go.
Backhand, left side, flat roll out. Chris could not get to it.
Serving 4.
taking his time, concentrating on the serve. 4-4 is the score. We're in the tiebreaker. That's the third game, going to 11 points. And again, just a simple reminder, in racquetball, in the amateur side, you do not have to You know, I think he does have a point here, guys. He did hold up. He might have hurt himself. Jim and Lynn, I want you guys, Lynn won't be able to see it, but I'm just wondering here about his little hold up right there.
Well, in the replay, it looked like he had enough room to hit it. Whether he did hold up or whether he got jammed, it was hard for me to tell. I don't know. Lynn had a better angle.
I couldn't see it either.
4 serves 4.
But in the replay, he definitely had enough room if he wanted to take that backswing to take it.
This is so much fun to watch this contest of wills. John trying so hard just with his will to keep the match going at a faster pace, and Chris is just as calm and as cool as can be. He's going to keep it right at his pace.
I think he's going to feel it, but my goodness, there's another one of those fantastic serves.
Line judges, I called that serve good. There's been an appeal. I called it good. Call stands. Scored the point.
Well, it's an ace serve for Johnny Ellis. 5 serving 4.
Score is 5.
Well, that was an interesting one line judge thought it was short. The other line judge said he didn't see it, which is hard for me to understand how he didn't see it.
Because he was the line judge on the left side.
Let's hold it, stop. Stop, John, come on.
Another outstanding serve that Cole was not able to return. There's a timeout on the part of Chris Cole, so that's a second point off an awesome, powerful serve on the part of Johnny Ellis, along with Lynn Adams and Jim Heiser. I'm Jim Turner. We're here in Houston. Boy, it's been a neat week for everybody to be here in Houston. The score is 6-4, and we're going to resume play in just a moment. Jim, go ahead and comment on some of these statistics.
Well, Chris Cole is right where he should be, 50%, but Ellis has increased his first serve percentage to almost 70%, and I think that's the big difference. He's getting his first serve in.
2-1 on the ace side for Ellis. Kill shots, 10 for Ellis, 5 for Cole. But we're down after 720 participants. We're down to the last match in the last few minutes to find out who's going to be the new men's open champ. Last year it was Tim Sweeney. Chris Cole defeated Tim Sweeney in a marathon 3-game match yesterday, lasting 2 hours and 25 minutes. And Johnny Ellis took out the wily veteran and great player Doug Ganem in his semifinals match. And we've got the score right now at 6 serving 4.
Well, Chris is going to probably try to see if he can get a couple of cracks here in his first serve. Short.
I want to change that serve that I gave. It's 4 serving 6, Jim.
We'll see what he uses on the second serve. Actually, that high lob serve off the sidewall has not been working very effectively. That's a better serve.
That's a Johnny Ellis backhand from 39.5 feet off the glass back door.
You can see Johnny had to go back to the ceiling. It was such a good ceiling ball.
Serving 6.
Chris went down the side wall. Another great ceiling ball, but a little bit too long, and he just flat rolled it up.
5 serving 6. Chris Cole with the serve.
Chris got the crack. Chris went for the crack.
Yes, he did.
And even though it doesn't look effective, it throws your timing off, and you can see how far off John was on the timing on that service return.
Get it back.
How difficult is that, Lynn, when that ball cracks out just to get some kind of a racket on it?
Well, what it is the ball is moving into your body, and that's a real tough way to swing. Plus, the natural direction that you should swing would be into the opponent, so you don't want to do that. Your instinct is to hit it away from your opponent, and so you're changing all of the natural momentum of where the ball is going. That makes it even worse.
Chris going again. He's going to try to make John shoot from 39 feet. Left it short.
Sure did the perfect setup for something he's been doing very successful most of the day, that deep backhand.
You can't leave that short for John. John, in most cases, roll that ball out.
You know, Jim and Lynn, when you watch the recreational players play, they feel enclosed, way too close to the back wall to take that big sweeping swing.
You can actually take a full swing with your racket on the wall. It's all shoulders. It's nothing to do with your wrist or any of that kind of stuff.
What a fantastic gift. I might say a bit of luck, because it was just a reach return to Ellis's power serve. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Awesome.
You can see it was a great serve. Chris just had to hit it off the side wall. 3 walls. One side wall, the other side wall, then the front wall.
John's just got to wipe that shot out of his mind. He's taking it a little personal, I think.
You can take that. You can take a look at that smile on Chris Cole's face. He knew that was a wild stab at a brilliant
he knew
serve.
that was a lucky return.
Sure.
But you know, what's the definition for luck? When skill meets opportunity?
I like it. That was good.
Been reading a book lately. 6-6 the score. Johnny wanting to just notify Otto Dietrich, and we'll be able to see it, that he felt that was a 2-bouncer on the part of Chris Cole.
John misses the pinch shot. Chris kind of tries to slice it down the left side, and John just has a great cross-court pass. Both players are getting a little tired here. Their shots are coming up. And it might be the person who wins is the person who makes the fewest mistakes from here on out.
Well, I honestly think we're seeing some frustration. The score is tight. Some frustration on the part of Johnny Ellis, not able for most of the day, much of the game, since about .8 of the first game, to control the pace of this game.
That glass definitely affected that shot, man. I don't think John got a full view of that ball along that glass.
No, he was frozen down here. He obviously had no idea where the shot was going.
Well, we'll see if Chris now, his percentage has dropped below 50%. So what he has to do, he has to get that first serve, hit the crack. Even if it's not a great serve, he has to get it and try to get it over that line.
Another first powerful serve on the part. It's interesting how the table has turned a little bit. The score is 7-6 in that Chris is getting, you said he had the slowest serve around, but that was a good power serve that Johnny Ellis was not able to get to.
Well, the angle on that serve was absolutely perfect.
This is a good time, if not now, real quick, for Johnny Ellis to take his last time out of this game, because we're looking at the score 8-6. Jimmy?
Well, see, that wasn't a great serve by Chris, but it's tough. It's tough when the ball, like Lynn was saying, is coming into you like that, even on the forehand or backhand side. And once he gets that first serve in, he is forcing Johnny to roll the ball out because he's in perfect court position. Back serve.
Yes, it is. John Ellis has called timeout. If I'm right, that is his second and last timeout of this tiebreaker. So the score is 9-6. What a brilliant shot that was. A great serve. And Johnny, no shot. No way for him to get to that. We're going to be back in just a moment, as we definitely going to crown a new champ today. But who's it going to be? Is it going to be John Ellis, who's behind, or is it going to be Chris Cole? Stay with us. We'll find out. Well, the frustration level has certainly changed. We've got Chris Cole with the lead in the tiebreaker, 9-6 over Johnny Ellis. Johnny really controlling the first game, 15-8, and then losing 15-10 to Cole. And Ellis just completely taken out of his power game by a slow, methodical, and very accurate shooting as the last 5 or 6 points. Chris Cole.
Well, I think whether Johnny wins or he loses, he's going to have a great learning experience to draw from this match, as far as learning how to deal with pace and handling yourself when somebody else is controlling the match.
Well, with that skip right there, Lynn, we're looking at potential match point, which would, if it works out, name Chris Cole the new Open champ.
Lynn, I thought there were some real good strategic moves by Chris Cole during that rally. He had a couple of opportunities where he might have forced a backhand, but went to the ceiling.
Oh, it was excellent, because he's not going to take a stupid shot at this point. He's too close.
Lynn, does he come back to try to get that crack on the backhand side again?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that.
Is the sun coming up tomorrow?
And now the serve, Jim.
Well, I think he's going to go to the high lob, because a lot of pressure's on John right now to shoot that ball from 39 feet. Wouldn't you say, Lynn?
Oh, yeah. If he can make it now, then Chris will say, that's good. You did well. But pressure's all on John now.
Potential match point, 10 serving 6. Setup. Oh, did he have a setup? And skipped it.
That's okay. I think what he's thinking to himself right now, everything worked right. The right strategy. I had the shot.
Jim,
I missed the shot.
I don't agree with that. I think he's swearing and cussing and thinking that he bit the banana at that point. I don't agree with you.
No way.
That was a perfect setup. He could have walked home right then, real early, with the national championship in his pocket.
This isn't over yet. This isn't over yet. He can't think.
I'm not saying it's over. I'm just saying he's not saying everything worked right on that shot. He skipped it.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Jim on that one. Chris is too methodical and lays things out too precisely that he's probably thinking just that. Grabbing the ankle.
We've had some injuries this week. That's point for Ellis, so it's 7-10. We're going to sit here and see if we can see him turn his ankle. Jimmy?
Well, he wound up and he hit that down the right side. I think his ankle hit when he hit the wall, right there.
Yeah.
When he turned over and hit the wall, his ankle hit right on the glass.
Absolutely right. Another great look from that overhead camera. There it is right there, slapping the wall. Now he's going to be all right. That was point again for John Ellis. 7 serving 10. We're in the tiebreaker.
Well, Chris has to get back into the service box. With John Ellis, sometimes that's a very difficult chore. So he's going to continually try to go to the ceiling unless the ball comes off the back wall. If the Ellis' serve comes out the back wall, Chris will shoot it. If it doesn't, he'll have to go to the ceiling.
I'm real impressed at the discipline that Chris has to keep going to the ceiling and not try to do something more with the ball, because he really has no shot out to hit.
Well, there's a setup for John. See if he can capitalize. He did.
Flat in the left front corner. 8 serves 10. Can't get any better than this, folks. We're down to the last match, the last moments. All the courts are dark. Almost everybody's gone but the fans, and here we are. 8 serving 10.
Good pass by John, right down the left side. Forced a very weak return by Chris, and a great pinch roll.
Might be a pretty good time for a timeout, and Chris Cole did call the timeout. Both men have used both of their timeouts, so it's 8 serving 10. Now, just remember as we go into this short pause that you only go to 11. Johnny Ellis has the serve. Both men here getting some advice from their friends, relatives, coaches. Hey, we'll be back to the finals here of the U.S. singles in Houston. Welcome back to Houston, Texas, everybody. Along with Lynn Adams and Jim Heiser, I'm Jim Turner, and we're just about down to it. It's 8 serving 10. Johnny Ellis with the serve. We're in the tiebreaker. No matter who wins, we're definitely going to have a new National Opens champ, but this really is good racquetball, Jim.
Well, we'll see what kind of serve. I mean, he's been serving very well with a crack serve.
Johnny Jr.'s teammates down there cheering.
They're all cheering for him.
Absolutely.
The whole junior crowd down here is going crazy.
Serving 10.
Hit right on the
Look
crack.
at that.
Perfect serve. Perfect serve.
You, John.
One thing about John, when he gets a little momentum going on that serve, he is unbeatable.
9-10. That was a very good call, a hinder call. Good call. He's trying to help you, Chris. Don't question it.
I called it a hinder, not avoidable.
Well, Chris missed the shot right there. He had an easy forehand. That's definitely not an avoidable hinder. No question,
not.
that was not an avoidable hinder.
Score is 9.
2 serves, 9 serving 10. That's a great look at the youthful Johnny Ellis.
Well, Chris has had 2 real opportunities to either get the serve or win the match, and he's missed both shots.
Stop.
Wait a minute.
Skip serve, okay?
Jimmy, there were several people back here calling it.
I think it did.
It's short, but it took me a minute to realize it skipped in.
It looks like, I think it did the way it came out, but we'll see it maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I
It
don't know.
looked like a skip from floor level down here.
Yeah, I think it skipped.
Said it skipped in.
Both agree.
Hands, side out. It's an out serve.
All right, they both agree.
What? Lynn Adams.
we can see
Lynn Adams. Comment, please.
Well, if I could see it, I'd tell you it
You're on
skipped.
fire, Lynn. You were right. It did skip in.
No question on the replay, but tell me about skipping in when you got 9 points in the tiebreak.
I think he's trying to be a little too precise there, and he's going to really regret that one if he ends up losing this match. Ooh, scary.
Possible.
Well, you know what
match
Chris
point,
Cole's gonna
serving
go.
9.
Chris will definitely go for that crack. John will be jumping on that.
Certainly the underdog is winning it. Chris Cole, who had a 2.5-hour marathon yesterday to defeat the #1 seed yesterday. Tim Sweeney has defeated young Johnny Ellis, and everybody here has been sitting rather quiet for about 2 hours. Really appreciative of this. And yesterday, not bragging, Chris Cole said, I want to play Johnny Ellis, and he certainly got his chance. And wow, that's just great racquetball.
That was tremendous racquetball, and I'm almost speechless.
Jim, take another look, and you can take us out on this. This is just beautiful.
Ball stuck on the sidewall. Chris let it go by him, and he just flat rolled the winning
Look
shot.
at that. That's the winning shot, and that's the look of the new Open single champ. I don't blame him for being excited. Good for you. Chris Cole wins at 11-9. It goes to the tiebreaker after losing to Johnny Ellis 15-8 in the first. We'll close it out here in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be back with the winner. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jim Turner, and we've wrapped it up, and we've got a new men's open national singles champ, and with our new champ is Jim Heiser and Lynn Adams.
Chris Cole, I can honestly say this is the most pleasurable post-game interview I've ever done. At 10-6 in the tiebreaker, you did miss a backhand shot. Could have won you the match then. What went through your mind?
I knew that he was going to come out powering the serve, feeling new life. And I just told myself, I went for the right shot and I just missed it, and there wasn't anything to do about it. So I just had to get back and retrieve his serve.
What do you think would have happened if he hadn't have skipped that serve in at 9 serves 10?
I probably would have hit a ceiling ball, he'd have skipped the return, and I'd have won anyway.
I love it. That is great.
Well, Chris Cole, we're going to go to Montreal. You have an opportunity to fulfill your last goal for the year, which is world champion.
Yes, but before that, I had to stick with this one. I had a really tough match with last year's national champion, Tim Sweeney, and I didn't want to go out in second place after such a great win yesterday, so this is going to put me forth on the road to winning the gold in Montreal for the U.S.
Well, congratulations, and Jim, back to you.
Well, we really appreciate it, and it's been a fantastic week, and we want to thank everybody, all 720 participants who have been here. Congratulations to Michelle Gilman, the Women's Open champ, to the Men's Open champ, Chris Cole. What a match he had with Johnny Ellis. We thank our production crew, Lynn Adams, Jim Heiser, the executive director of the AARA, that's Luke St. Onge, and stay with us, because coming up pretty soon, we want you to check your local listings for the exact time on Prime Network. We will be bringing you the Echelon AARA U.S. Junior Olympic Championships from Salt Lake City, Utah. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you down the road.